Now, as Techspert fans know, I absolutely adore covering Motorola smartphones. It's pretty much a full-time job for me because they launch so bloody many. And so, oh glorious day, or happiest of days, because two new budget-friendly Moto G series handsets have just turned up at Techspert Towers. So what we have here is the fresh new Moto G10 and G30, two budget-friendly handsets ready for 2021. What I'm going to do is do you a full unboxing and side-by-side comparison of them, comparing all the specs, the features, the camera tech, everything you need to know. Certainly in terms of pricing, there's not much in it at all. The G10 will cost you 129 quid in the UK, it's 159 quid for the G30. So is that price difference worth it? Well, let's check it out. And for more of the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Let's see what you get in those boxes. Now, first up, as you can see there, both the Moto G10 and the G30 come pre-clad in a nifty condom case to help keep them protected. Of course, if you want to play dangerous, you can just rip that off and go bareback instead. And besides that, you get a starter guide, you get a Type-C USB cable, and a 3-pin charge and plug with pop-up action. Now stick the G10 and the G30 side by side and you'll be hard pressed to tell them apart. They're both 6.5-inch smartphones, so exact same size and everything. The main differentiation between them is the fact that you've got this sort of mottled finish on the G10 around back, whereas the G30 is nice and smooth. Of course, it is a plastic finish on both the G10 here and the G30 as well, pretty standard for a budget blower. Gotta admit, I quite like this sort of sand duney effect though here on the G10, sets it apart from its more expensive sibling. We'll possibly add a bit of extra grip to it as well. I'm definitely liking the subtle purple coloration on these both as well. And as usual with Motorola's budget blowers, you get an IP52 splash resistant design as well. I would not recommend taking them into the shower with you or anything like that. It'll be fine for a bit of light rain or, you know, a light bit of spillage as well, but you definitely don't want to get them too moist. Now, both of these Moto G handsets have a dual SIM setup, otherwise you can use that second SIM slot to slap in a microSD memory card. Cards of up to 512 gigs in size are accepted by both the Moto G10 and the G30. The Moto G10 comes with 64 gigs of storage as standard. In the Moto G30 you can bump that up to 128 gigs. Alright, and now it's time for the joyous task of setting up two Motorola smartphones at the same time.
Hello Moto. Hello Moto.
And the Moto G30 already exerting dominance over the slower Moto G10. Alrighty, so now the Moto G10 and the Moto G30 all set up and ready for action. And now that the displays are actually turned on, you can hopefully tell a little bit easier that those bezels are fairly chunky, as you'd expect again from a budget smartphone, especially down below, got some serious junk in that trunk. But both the G10 and the G30 basically identical from the front. And another way that they're both identical is the actual software. It's the fresh new Android 11 OS, so it comes pre-installed, unlike the Nokia 5.4 where it's Android 11 ready. So you get the exact same software setup and layout and everything, exact same features on both of these blowers. And I do love the stock vibe of Android as well, no heavy clunky launcher or anything. But of course Motorola, as usual, has added the Moto experiences to both of these smartphones as well. You can access these via the Moto app. And these are most definitely a very worthy addition to the stock Android experience, adding all kinds of bonus features. So for instance, it just makes it a little bit easier to customize your handset. You can dive into the personalized section, you can play around with the wallpapers, different styles as well. This just allows you to play around with different colors and different fonts as well, so nice stuff. That gestures section is one of my favorites though. This adds some great stuff in there, such as, for instance, the fast torch, which is just the best feature on any smartphone ever. Basically, just give it one of these karate chops, wah, and on goes the torch. And by the way, making that noise is absolutely obligatory every time. Wah! You've also got the likes of lift to unlock as well, which is definitely a good one when coupled with the face unlock feature. So let's just get this set up on both of these smartphones. And of course, face unlock is a feature that you won't find again in stock Android. It's something that Motorola adds to its smartphones. Come on, G10, you can do it. I do have a face. Face is too blurry. Screw you, man. Come on, G10, this is just mean. Needs more light. I'm literally stood next to a massive light. I am literally stood in front of the brightest light I have on full beam. My retinas are bloody melting inside of my skull. Oh, has it done it? Has it finally? Hey! There you go. So now you can lift the Moto G10 or the Moto G30 and it will automatically start searching for your face. Otherwise, you can just push that power button as well. And as you can see, straight into the menus with the G30. The G10, that selfie camera is really not liking me. And frankly, screw you. Otherwise, you do have a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor on both the G10 and the G30 as well. And touch wood, so far, they seem nice and responsive. Just a quick tap and you're basically straight into your desktops. And you've also got that swipe to split effort on both the Moto G10 and the Moto G30 as well. It was just recently introduced on Motorola smartphones. All you need to do is just swipe across and then back again when you're in an app. As you can see, it will then split in two. You can then open up another app and use them side by side. It's a shame that the one-handed mode has disappeared from the Moto gestures support. It's a real shame because that was a really useful feature, especially with phones being so bloody massive these days. But you still get the tips and tricks guide to sort of learn your way around all of the features. You can mess around with the display, and you've got that game time feature as well, which is great news for gamers. Basically helps you to block notifications, get you really immersed in your game, and disable the adaptive brightness, all that kind of stuff that might throw you off. And in further good news, both the Moto G10 and the Moto G30 boast a bit of NFC action as well, so you can use them for your contactless payments. Very, very handy in a post-COVID world. As for the display tech, well, it's a 6.5-inch IPS panel on both the Motorola Moto G10 and the Moto G30 as well. Sadly, it's an HD plus resolution, 1600 by 720 pixels, not full HD, which is a shame because you do get full HD panels at this sort of price point, the likes of the Poco M3, for instance. Still, while you are undeniably lacking that finer detail when you watch a bit of Netflix, bit of Disney Plus, whatever, the visuals are still absolutely fine for kicking back with a movie or a TV show. At least at 6.5 inches, it's certainly a spacious display on both of these phones, so no worries on that front. The actual visuals looked nearly identical on the G10 and the G30. I actually found that the G10 on that maximum brightness seemed to be a little bit brighter than the G30, although the viewing angles are fairly narrow on both of these handsets, so the image does darken once you start to tilt the display away. I quite like the colour output on both the G10 and the G30. They're reasonably poppy for budget IPS panels. You can dive on into the display settings as well and dial down the vibrancy a bit if you want to, though it makes kind of minimal difference, to be perfectly honest. The one area where the Moto G30 does offer a superior display compared with the G10 is the refresh rate, because as you can see there, you do have the option of boosting it up to 90 Hz rather than the bog standard 60 Hz, which is all you get on the G10. Just adds a nice smooth experience when you're sort of browsing through menus and using apps that support that higher refresh rate. Otherwise, you can stick it on auto, in which case it will scale it up and down from 60 to 90 when needed. As for the actual audio side of things, well, it's a mono speaker on both the G10 and the G30, a bottom-mounted speaker pumping out all of that sound. And after doing a quick side-by-side with the G10 and the G30, it's obvious that the speaker tech is basically identical. You get the same sort of output on that top volume level. It's not too bad, to be fair. I'll just play this little clip now.
That rear camera tech slapping a fresh new 48 megapixel sensor.
So clarity and everything absolutely fine on that top volume level, and it does reach a reasonable volume as well, so it will be absolutely fine for, again, kicking back with a bit of YouTube. Techspert channel, I've heard that's quite good. Bit of Netflix action, Disney Plus, whatever you want to stream. Although obviously if you want to get a bit of music on the go, you're going to want to either connect a pair of headphones via a headphone jack. Both the G10 and the G30 support that. Otherwise you've got a bit of Bluetooth 5.0 support on both as well. Now let's talk performance. So the Moto G10 supports the very basic Snapdragon 460 chipset, whereas here on the G30 that gets upgraded to the Snapdragon 662, which is stuffed in quite a lot of budget-friendly smartphones these days, including the likes of the Poco M3 and the Nokia 5.4. So not too surprising to see a difference in the Geekbench scores. As you can see there, both the single core and the multi-core, the G30 is the superior device. You've got 4 gigs of RAM in both of these blowers as well, although there is a 6GB option of the Moto G30, which is going to be an Amazon exclusive. Still, the good news for gamers is that both the Moto G10 and the Moto G30 use the same GPU, that Adreno 610, and that has proven more than capable for playing the likes of PUBG, Call of Duty, shenanigans like that, all those online blasters. Of course, you do have other factors to take into consideration when it comes to mobile gaming, such as the actual screen responsiveness. So what I'll be doing is I'll be fully reviewing both of these smartphones, using them extensively as my personal handset, so I'll be getting a good bit of gaming on the go, and I'll let you know if they're great or if they suck. As for the battery tech, well, it's a 5000 mAh cell stuffed inside both the Moto G10 and the Moto G30 as well. I can never find the bloody battery section for some reason when I'm looking for it. And because you've got that lovely stock version of Android on both the G10 and the G30, I reckon both of them should easily last a full day, even if you're absolutely hammering them with hardcore usage, lots of screen on time, all of that good stuff, especially as they're basically just 720p displays, so shouldn't take that much powering. Should hopefully last you well into a second day as well. And you've got 10-watt charging, fast charging here on the G10, not particularly fast, but pretty standard for a budget phone. That does actually get doubled to 20-watt fast charging here on the G30, so that should recharge nice and quick. Now let's finish up this Moto G10 and G30 unboxing and comparison with a squint at the rear camera tech, and they look very similar at a first glance, but you will notice that the Moto G10 sports a 48 megapixel primary sensor as indicated by the tiny bit of text right there, whereas that gets upgraded to a 64 megapixel primary sensor here on the Moto G30. Now that primary camera tech might be slightly different, but the general camera UI and layout and everything is basically identical. As you can see, you get Motorola's camera AI smarts on both of these blowers, so this will just suggest swapping to a different camera mode when applicable. So for instance, taking a picture of Chocolate Monkey here, says switch to portrait. The actual autofocus seems nice and nippy on both of these handsets. Both the G10 and the G30 seem to lock onto faces pretty much in an instant. And it's quad pixel camera tech on both of these blowers. So on the G10, even though it's a 48 megapixel primary sensor, what you'll get is 12 megapixel images because it combines the sensor information from 4 pixels into 1. And here on the Moto G30 it's the same. You've got a 64 megapixel sensor, but it's 16 megapixel images it'll shoot by default. And if you hit that shutter button, as you can see, a bit of a delay in taking the photo. So don't exactly expect rapid fire on either of these. That's because it'll be doing that quad pixel combination and everything in the background. Moving on from that primary sensor as well, you've also got an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens on both of the Moto G series handsets. As you can see, it just offers a pulled back view. The detail levels will be slightly compromised in this viewpoint, and often the colors are not quite natural either. But sometimes it's quite handy to get quite a dramatic family shot, something like that. Both the G10 and the G30 also offer a depth sensor for your portrait shots, and of course the obligatory macro lens where you'll have to get very, very close to your subject and take a picture. And it's a 2 megapixel lens, so what you'll end up is with a crappy, fuzzy, blurry, awful shot basically. You can fast access various settings just by pulling up like so. As you can see, you got your timer, your aspect ratio, all of that good stuff. You've also got little shortcuts appearing down here below, all nice and easy to access with just one hand, which is great news. And both phones also offer a selection of bonus modes as well, so you can dive on here. As you can see, you've got full-on night vision modes for those low light shots. You've got the excellent mode or the spot color mode, which is quite unique. You've got full pro controls on both of these blowers as well, so you can tweak the likes of the white balance, the ISO levels. Of course, the excellent portrait mode, which makes use of that depth sensor just to highlight your subject, add a nice bokeh style effect in the background. The only difference between these two phones in terms of the camera modes is you get the 64 megapixel ultra resolution mode here on the G30. So you can actually take 64 meg snaps if you want to, and as you see, the processing is even longer in this case. Sometimes it is thrown off by stronger lighting though when you do go max res, so it does have to be generally optimal conditions for that to work well. As for your home movies, where you can shoot at full HD resolution on both the Moto G10 and the G30, you can actually bump up the frame rate though to 60 FPS on either of these handsets, although that then switches off the stabilization as well. So if you want a bit of that, you're gonna have to leave it at full HD at 30 FPS. And last up, let's check out the selfie cams. Here on the G10, it is a simple 8 megapixel selfie cam, which hates my frickin' face for some reason, does not like it at all. Here on the G30, that's upgraded to a 13 megapixel cam, which seems to do the job for face recognition, so there you go. But as usual with Motorola blowers, you can switch to portrait mode using that front-facing camera, and that'll add that nice bokeh style background effect on the back. And just from a look here, it looks like you're getting much nicer results from the G30, just more natural looking skin tones and everything looks a bit whitewashed here on the G10, so I'm sure it'll be an absolutely stunning shot here on the G30, of course. Yep, look at that. Oh, processing time is taking ages, and now I've gone and f***ed it. And frankly, I wish I just hadn't bothered, because I mean, that is the look of a confused man right there. And so that, my friends, is how the Motorola Moto G10 and the Moto G30 stack up in terms of the specs, the features, the camera tech, all of that good stuff. I've got my sim slapped in that Moto G30 now, so I'm going to be doing a full in-depth review of that hopefully next week, and then followed closely by the G10 to see if it really is that, oh god, my brain has just melted. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Ugh. So far, I've got to say, more impressed by that Moto G30. You've got like upgraded performance. That Snapdragon 662 should prove nice and smooth for every dear use. Of course, you've got the faster battery charge, you've got the upgraded camera tech, and that selfie camera certainly seems a lot better at the face recognition. So what's your thoughts? Are you tempted by the G10 or the G30? Do you just love Motorola as much as I do? It'd be great to hear you down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe, and ding that notifications bell if you haven't already, and have yourselves a bloody lovely weekend. Oh, love you. Oh God, what even was that sign off? Jesus.